Okay, well, thank you. Now, I remember, I think, it was around the year 2000 that your dad told me about Calm and said that, that he could tell that we were low in magnesium, and he said it was one of the top, I think, 5 or something, if I remember correctly, products that he had discovered at that time. Can you tell us a little bit about how you discovered Natural Calm, or what you have found over the years for it to work for?
Well, first of all, I consider Natural Calm the best, absolute top magnesium supplement that there is because of the absorption of it. It's in a form that's taken up in the body, almost 100% absorption and utilization. And in my little office, we carry a few supplements, but the only ones I carry are the ones that I know work the best, because my business is results driven. I have to get results or nobody comes. And rightly, they shouldn't come if they're not getting results. So Natural Calm's absolutely the best absorbed. The way we came across it, when we first saw an advertisement for it and it talked about the science behind it, how it's formulated, we ordered a few bottles and tried it out ourselves, as we often do, and we're sold on it. So whenever magnesium is needed, from my standpoint, Natural Calm is the top thing, always.
And what do you find that is the top 3 things that it helps people for?
Relaxation is the top. Every part of the body that flexes needs magnesium. So for instance, the muscles in my hand have to have magnesium for them to do this, to flex, especially to relax. I can do this without magnesium, but I can't do this without magnesium. Most important muscle in the body, of course, is the heart. The heart muscle has to have magnesium, or it tends to cramp and can't relax. When it cramps and can't let go, that's called a heart attack. So anybody with heart palpitations or chest distress and so forth often needs magnesium. Another thing is any muscle in the body that's getting a cramp. Any cramp means there's a need for magnesium. So if you're getting leg cramps, toe cramps, finger cramps, that's a need for magnesium. By the way, when a muscle cramps, say if you get a cramp in the leg muscle, that's a sign that the minerals in that muscle have probably been pulled out to put in the blood to send to the heart, which is the more important muscle to keep working. So a leg cramp, even though we don't want it, is a sign that something's running low and is being pulled away to send to something more vital. It's more important to pull that magnesium out of your leg muscles and send to the heart than it is to have a heart attack and be fine in the leg muscles. And the body's smart and knows to do that.
Well, that's fascinating. So would it pull it out of your muscles before it would pull it out of your bones?
Well, it would pull magnesium out of the muscles sooner because there's more magnesium in the muscle. But if there's a need for calcium in the blood, it's going to pull it out of the bones. It's always trading off, setting up a hierarchy or a priority of need. So again, it's more important that the calcium or magnesium be pulled out of some place that can give it up and sent to the heart, because if it doesn't, nothing else matters.
Yes, I can see that. So whether you find there's any other benefits that people have, what's another top benefit that they would have from taking magnesium?
Intestinal trouble or stomach trouble. Magnesium is an acid driver. In other words, it carries acids or waste. Let's just say, when I say acid, let's just say that's waste. It takes magnesium to push the waste out of the body, to get rid of them. And also, in a roundabout way, some neutralizing of the acid or waste while it's in the body. So I've had a lot of people with stomach distress, acid regurgitation, acids coming up into the throat, that sort of thing. Magnesium often is helpful for that. Or constipation. Because magnesium is a relaxer, the intestinal muscles If they're too tight and not functioning right, magnesium helps relax those muscles and get everything working smoothly. So not only is magnesium a relaxer, it's laxative. Now, if you're having really loose stools, you don't want to take too much magnesium because it'll cause the opposite problem. But most people I see, that's not the problem. The problem is getting everything moving in there.
But if you have too much magnesium, it'll go to your colon and hydrate it?
It will go to the colon, hydrate it, and relax things and help the movement.
So is that the biggest way we know we have too much is just by having too loose of stools?
Yes.
In our supplement. What's some symptoms like? Because from my research, you can't really tell by the blood because, like you were saying, it'll take it from the muscle to put it in the blood. So if they check the blood, it's always going to seem pretty good. And if it is low, you're in real bad shape, I would think.
That's exactly right. At the time it's really low in the blood, everything else is depleted, and you're in real trouble. So other symptoms of low magnesium, well, cramping, again, would be a really common thing. Acid stomach, constipation, these are probably the key things. And I seldom talk to anybody that isn't having one or the other of those symptoms. Gallstones, kidney stones, things like that too, really common. Cataracts.
Really?
A cataract is basically generally waste calcium, or calcium that's not used properly, building up on the lens of the eye. There's a balance that has to happen between calcium and magnesium. And if the magnesium's too low in the body, the calcium can't stay dissolved in the fluids of the body, like the tears. There's a lot of calcium in tears. But if there's not enough magnesium present, the calcium drops out and starts to build up. And that's called a cataract.
Wow, that's fascinating. I never knew that. So the symptoms could be quite varied then.
Very varied.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of different symptoms. And some that aren't even direct, because there's a domino effect of things that happen chemically in the body. If magnesium is in short supply, it may not be a direct magnesium deficiency symptom, but may set up a domino effect of things that a doctor, for instance, might not catch.
So how long would, if I'm really deficient, how long would it take for me to get back into shape?
Depends on how deficient you are. If you're extremely deficient, it's going to take longer.
Like you're talking 2 or 3 months or a year or?
Well, I've seen people that I would say 6 months to recover from a severe deficiency. If it's a very minor deficiency, you're going to get results quicker, obviously.
What percentage of the population would you say is deficient in magnesium?
I'd say as much as 70 to 80%.
And that's in your practice is what you're kind of seeing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a lot. I've heard some other doctors believe it's up to 95%.
It could be that high in certain populations. I would say overall, I'd say 70 to 75% overall, from infants to extreme elderly. But I would say up to 90, 95% in teenagers, because they eat such a magnesium deficient diet. Too much white flour, too much sugar, dyes, all kinds of junk food that, first of all, don't have any magnesium in those foods, but there's a double whammy. The diet's deficient in magnesium, and any magnesium they have in the body is getting used up at a much more rapid rate the higher the diet is in sugar and white flour. So you're not only not putting any back in there, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul constantly. I've got a lot of young people, it's disturbing to see, that are extremely deficient in magnesium and other minerals. And by the time they're 30 years old, without correction, they're going to have severe problems.